Hey Todd, hey Larry. Got up early tonight. I can hardly ever go to bed early, but I did last night and it worked. Hey Dolly, how you doing? Damn internet wasn't working there that great. Couldn't do a live last night, and then my video didn't upload last night, so I thought, hell with it. I'm checking out of here. Hey Emmanuel, I'm gonna head east. Over to further eastern Kentucky, maybe make it to the West Virginia border. If not, just see how it goes. How you guys this morning? Beautiful day today. Yesterday it rained, but it's still nice. If you guys ever get a chance down here, I mean, if I looked at it on a map and read the description, I'd probably never bother to go. But since it was raining yesterday and there wasn't a lot to do, I did it anyway, and I took the full two-way trip across the Daniel Boone National Forest. Really beautiful. I mean, it's just the way that jagged rocks and the way they cut the road through there, and then the fall leaves. Really, really beautiful. Hey, George. Yeah, I think you'd really enjoy it. You know, they have a lot of hardwood trees down here, so it's just attractive looking. Streams all over. You know, I think I'm too early for the damn Starbucks. That is getting up early, isn't it? No, I guess they're open. Just the lobby's not open. I'll tell you, these coffee shops, no matter where you're at, Montana, Ohio, Michigan, whatever, they're all busy as hell in the morning. And a coffee's $5. Hard to believe. Yeah, really beautiful, George. Really nice. It's really nice down here. I mean, like, really beautiful. I don't think on a lot of these roads I wouldn't do a live, because I'm telling you, it's like a backwoods race course. You gotta pay attention. Oh, good for you. It's a good feeling getting up early. We've got a place, Bigby Coffee, in Michigan. I get those a lot. I think they're really good. When I moved to Chicago, there were a lot of Caribou coffees. They were excellent, but Starbucks seemed to put them out of business, at least in that area. I'm not really a big Starbucks fan, but it's better than a Speedway. Starbucks has the most caffeine out of their general roast, average French roast, than anybody. It's the highest caffeine content. So if you're going berserk when you miss a turn, you can blame it on Starbucks. Hey, Ramblin' Ruthie. Yeah, I used to be like that, man. I've gotten better as I've gotten older, but man, my whole life, I could stay up all night, no problem. Oh, snake roll, that's a good name for it. Yeah, it'll definitely keep you awake. But it's so funny, and like I mentioned yesterday, you know, I made this trip probably 200 times in my life down past this area. And you know, you always get off, you get gas, you're not exploring around. I know Kentucky has nice areas, but I would have never guessed in a million years there were so many of them a half mile off the expressway, where you're used to getting a motel or a hotel and filling up with gas. I mean, really stunningly beautiful.
Oh, for Starbucks, just give me one moment.
Okay. These people are always so damn nice at these coffee things. I don't care where you're at. Especially these Starbucks people. You can tell they have a training regimen. People are always like professional. I know it sounds nuts, or just taking the order for a coffee, but they're always very pleasant and don't screw up your order like they would at a mom and pop place that didn't give a shit. Yeah, it really is, Linda. Yeah, I'm gonna do some interviews. I would have done some, but the first day I got here, I just kind of drove around, checked things out. The second day it rained, and today's the third day. And what I'm realizing, this is different than a lot of places. There isn't like an area when I was out west where people congregate, a food truck, a welfare office, a rehab, bandos. You know what I mean? There is more poverty statistically, but getting access isn't as easy. I don't really care. I mean,
You can go ahead with your order.
yeah, could I have a medium caramel latte with skim milk, please?
And you want that hot?
Yeah, hot. Yep,
Okay, what else?
that's it.
It'll be 507.
Thank you. Yeah, so, I mean, and another thing, there's no shoulders to the road. I mean, there's no subtle introduction, if you know what I mean. When I'm up around 6th and Telegraph or the Stroll or down in South West 4th Street, either walking by, hey, how you doing? I'm in a gas station. Would you be interested in doing an interview? When you're here, there may be more people, but like I said, it's the access. I'm not complaining. I could have worked a lot harder at it than I did, but the first day I was tired. You get acclimated, you want to find out what's going on. And the second day it rained all day. I still had a good day. The video didn't upload last night, which is one of the reasons I checked out. The interview was crappy there, the internet. So I'll get interviews. I don't really force it. I've learned it doesn't work that way. This isn't like cutting grass, where you look out there and there's 10 acres of grass and you start and 4 hours later you're done. This is like I could get 5 interviews in an hour, and I could get no interviews in a solid week. You just never know. I don't really try and force it. All of a sudden you're coming across as weird talking to someone you didn't get a chance to soften up a little bit before you ask, that kind of thing. I know you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just saying, in a way, it's interesting content down here, but in another way, it's hard to connect the dots. No, that's the right time here, 7:07. This clock actually started working again the other day. And, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. I'll bet. So Monday I drove all over. I did that 250 mile in a ride, but a lot of that's in, out in the boonies. And then today, I'll tell you, both days and yesterday, and both days, I bet I didn't see 3 people outside. Anywhere. You don't see like people walking around here like I'm used to in Detroit, and Flint, and Saginaw. It's just like nobody's walking around anywhere. Look at all these nice colors down here still. Here we are coming up on Thanksgiving. Green all over the... I mean, it looks like I'd be in Florida or something. Daisy is excited to hit the road. Daisy's a good girl. I got gas for $1.61 last night. It's funny on the gas here too, The place where I got it in 161 the night before was up to $1.99. And the place where it was up to $1.99 went down to $1.61, and it was right off the expressway. So go figure. Hey, up in the hollows, yeah. I haven't really talked to too many people here. I never do anything for Thanksgiving. It depends where I'm at. If I'm on the road, well, just same old, same old. If I go home, Nothing. Probably paint. I got to get my office. I'm gonna set up an office in the upstairs. I got a bunch of stuff to do in my house. I may do it then. The holidays really don't mean too much to me. It's like any other day. It sucks up there when, especially now with this COVID around like Thanksgiving, you'd be able to get a damn turkey hot dog at the gas station. That's it. Yeah, the virus doesn't seem to be too much of a concern here. I've talked to a couple people and they said, well, there's not much of a population. It isn't much of an issue. There's people everywhere you go not wearing masks. The restaurants are in places like that. But a lot, I see it all over, You'll go into a place and they'll whip their mask up real quick. There'll be 10 people sitting there talking, that kind of thing. There's a truck with a whole trailer full of Jeeps, new Jeeps. Pending evictions with who? Pending evictions with who? Hi. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Good, how are you? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't really know on that. I mean, I'll tell you, man, that's a good question. I mean, for a while there, I know that they couldn't evict somebody because of background. I don't know what the status of that is anywhere, to be honest with you, including my home state. I don't know. It's really super stressful for people out there, man. I mean, I'm having a good time and this is fun, but I wouldn't say it's as fun as it would be if everybody was doing better. You know what I mean? Feel stressed out for other people, man, with kids and school, and you got to work, but the school isn't open, and then you got to pay a babysitter. It's just stress up the yin-yang. I don't have it too bad, but I do feel bad for other people. Yeah, well, there's some places out that they were given tickets. I know they were up in Canton for Michigan. I mean, rebellious or like really super ignorant. It's one thing not wearing a mask around, your own home. It's another thing not wearing one in public. I think it's just basic courtesy. And you're supposed to have one on. I mean, oh, they can't, Linda? Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a lot different. Yeah, you just never really know how exactly, Yep. Beautiful day. Hey, Ericold, how you doing? You going to work today? Crows flying around. See those crows? Yeah, I'm in Kentucky, yep. Yeah, you're right, George. Yeah, I agree, Mark, yep. Yeah, decent thing to do. I mean, you know how it is. You can size people up pretty early in a brief introduction. It's like these people have any etiquette, they have any manners. Doesn't take real long. And, I keep my eye on it. It just speaks volumes, when you go into a business, what their attitude is about it, that kind of thing. That's a good view, isn't it? Hey, Michael. Yeah, I'm just south of Berea, actually. Berea is a beautiful town. Is that the college or the city riding around on those safety golf carts? Yeah, it's nice air cooled. You really like it down here. Hey, Michael. Okay, that's a nice, beautiful town you live in. I bet that college costs about 25 grand a year to go to, at least. There's a lot of colleges like that. I was out at an antique show in Allentown, Pennsylvania about 5 years ago. Lehigh, beautiful campus. It's another place that costs 50 grand a year to go to. ...2003 Astrovan. Thank you, Tanta. I never get up this early, but I'm glad I did today. Daisy gets excited like a little kid in the morning when we're starting our day. Good girl. Isn't that the truth? Thank you, Tanta. Yeah, it's probably, it's hard to say with these colleges, if you do the math on these places. When I went to college, which I barely got in and barely got out, I went to a junior college. And then I went to a four-year college because I thought, man, this is just wasn't supposed to happen. If I could actually pull off getting out of a four-year degree, it's going to be unbelievable. And I managed to do it. But when I was going to college, all of us worked part-time. Everybody had a car, a new car, or close to a new car. I remember I bought a brand new Toyota Corolla. And tuition, it sucked to pay it, but it was no big deal. I never took a student loan. I don't know anybody that did. It wasn't that big a deal. Well, now look. You're not owning any car going to college. You can't afford the insurance. Tuition now is what they use to make the wheels go round rather than kind of a supplement because the federal subsidies has died. So you're going to college, you're racking up crazy debt. If you listen to that guy that I interviewed in Detroit, he's got senior friends at Yale that can't find jobs. That's a big deal. Oh, that's cool, Linda. Hey, Mefdon. So, in Michigan, they had a law, and they probably did some kind of emergency legislation that the governor enacted. But the way they got their reimbursement is by attendance. You had to be sitting in a seat in a school. So the minute they came out with a plan to be able to do remote learning, nobody was too interested in that because, we're not only not getting paid, we're spending the labor on doing this instruction. So I don't know how it was finally resolved. In the old days, the school systems are what maintain your property values. I'm not so sure that's true everywhere anymore. Yeah, you're right, Sunshine. Hey, Michael. Yeah. It's cooler today, too, which is nice. I got a jacket on, like 50. It's fine with me. I'd rather have this than 80. Yeah, accountability day, it's true. What's the weather like up around Detroit today? And you get up this early on your day off, air cooled, huh? Oh, it got cold there. You know, they've isolated a gene for that in people, night people and day people. My parents were both early morning risers, where I've always been a late night guy. So is my sister. Schools down here seem really nice. I'll tell you another place where they have nice schools, like Olympic pools and that kind of thing, is Alaska. No, it's just driving all over. No specific goal on the trip. Yeah, but she pled guilty and she's a convicted felon now. And if you ever listen to her talk, they might as well given her 2 million years. That's killing her, being a convicted felon and being in federal prison. That's how the federal court treats a lot of those deals. If she wouldn't have been such a bitch and went along, I'm telling you, I pay attention to these federal cases, and I have for 30 years. They've got unlimited resources. They don't charge you unless there's a 99% chance they're going to get a conviction. People hardly ever beat federal charges, and it's super expensive. I got a buddy of mine that was charged as a PI around 87, 88, and some federal charges, and they wanted 50 grand down right then for legal representation. It's a whole new ball of wax. Look at Detroit's mayor. I mean, he stood a decent chance probably in a state court. Man, once the feds lock their horns in you, you got a big problem. Yeah, that's how my dad was. I take it a day at a time. I've been on the road 5 weeks. Actually, 4 weeks Tuesday. It's true, George. Yeah. Yeah, I'm heading over your way, Kim. Nah. I don't know if they did or not. I had a problem with the internet. My damn video didn't upload last night, but the internet wasn't that great there anyway, so it can only get better. You too, Todd. Oh, was it, Amber? You know, I've had dash cams before, but I never liked them. And I've been going on and looking at other ones. And even though they've gone up a lot in value, when you do these read these ratings on people that have bought them, it seems like they all have huge problems. Anybody got a dash cam out there that's 4K that doesn't overheat that they like? Those starlings. Birds on a wire. Yeah, there's a lot of people have a hard time out there. Oh yeah, I saw they got a big sign when you go into Berea. It says "Where Art's Still Alive" or something like that. And then you go downtown and there's that building, or you head towards downtown, there's that building on the right, something art. I'm heading to West Virginia, like Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia. I'm not sure. I go wherever the wind blows me. Oh, do you really, ramming Ruthie? No kidding, huh? Oh, thank you, Tokington. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know about. I never heard that, George. I don't know how they could. You never know, though. I mean, the world is so crazy now. I mean, things don't make sense. You know, I would have said, well, that's impossible, put me in jail for helping the homeless. But I've seen these municipalities get pissed and just do stuff that you wouldn't believe a rational human being would be capable of. And here they are, the government. And I've never been like a anti-government, conspiracy theorist, none of that. But with this election and the bullshit that goes on, I'm getting to where I don't believe anything. You see those birds on the wire, George? Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I love watching birds. You know, you're going to laugh, but that's my favorite bird, the starling. These birds are so super intelligent, it's unbelievable. Brought over here by some jerk from Europe. You never see a starling running into a window or being dead on the side of the road. I've watched these birds my whole life. And I owned 3,000 pairs of birds at one time when I bred them parrots commercially. And the top bird in my mind is a starling. They ought to make it the national symbol. A bald eagle. It looks impressive, but it's deep down, it's nothing. You put a little poison in the water, they die for 100 years. They hit the water and get soaked trying to catch fish and drowned. You watch these starlings and they're super adept flyers. I've seen them drop right down with 3 inches between cars going 80 miles an hour down the expressway and the retaining wall, pick up a piece of bread, fly straight up and get the hell out of there. There's records of them raising and laying eggs on moving trains. They'll set up wherever they have to produce offspring. You can't stop them. Now, if you're a farmer and you're planting seeds, you're going to hate starlings. But from a guy that's not a farmer, that just appreciates birds, the starling gets my #1 vote, definitely. Super bright birds. And nobody gives them any help. It's not like the Kirkland warbler or any of those birds that you gotta hold with kid gloves. And I like the old standard pigeon as well. A bald eagle can't jump up from the floor and fly straight up for 10 feet. That's why you never see them getting themselves in that kind of predicament. But a damn starling can, and so can a pigeon. Hey, Shannon. You've been drinking again, Shannon. Yeah, I've been. I say I do get depressed, which everybody knows, but I've been sad about this Alex Trebek thing. Isn't that weird? Human emotion. I actually get sad thinking about that. It's like I tried watching it the other night, and all I could think about is him dying. And I thought, this isn't fun. Hey, Roddy dogs. So let's see what else I'm gonna do. That damn hotel got a chance to stick me for $5 more, which is no big deal. I mean, I tip the clerks in these places if they're nice, but they got a chance to do it, and they did, and that kind of ticks me off. In their interview, internet didn't work that great. So normally I would give them an all-star rating. Now I'm going to tell the truth, which is different. But it's not a good feeling. When I added another night, they should have said, well, it's gone up a little. But they didn't, because they thought I might have checked out then. So they waited until I checked out. I've had this happen before. I should have asked, and I gave them a chance to hang themselves, and they did. If I ever come down here again, it could have been for $1. It's the principle of the thing. So between their slow internet and gouging me another $5, I'll never go back there. Oh, thank you, Cherry Baby. Yeah, I remember your True Seeker. Yep. Yeah, I got. Luckily, I was able to go to bed early last night, which I hardly ever do. I hate to say it, and you keep waiting for the other shoe to drop as you age, and I'll be 65 here in January. And I played hardcore basketball till I was 50, and I only quit because I didn't want to have any knee injuries. And it was getting harder, and then I lifted weights big time up until like a couple years ago, and I noticed from like 50 to 60 that my strength was dropping off, and punching power is like dropped off big time. Which, so what do you think, it's going to last forever? I haven't hit a softball in a while. I used to be a decent softball player, and that's probably dropped off too. But here's my point. I like being on the road, screwing around, doing things. But I'm trying to chalk it off to having a sleep problem, not being able to get good sleep. But even though it was like a perfect trip driving down here Monday, great weather, both windows open the whole way. It's only 400 miles. But I'm tired for a couple of days after I get here. Even though I try and like drink water and stuff like that, and then I'm dragging ass the next day, which was my first day around town, you really don't feel like doing anything. And I just wish I could find a way to, I hope it's not age, because it sucks getting to a place and being too tired to feel like doing anything. God damn. Oh, thank you, Roddy Dog. I mean, I hope it's not going to get worse. And I used to drive like late at night all the time, cover distance, but I'm not covering big distances here. What I've found here since I've been here so far is like I'll probably go through on a long day where I get an early start today. I looked on the map. I should drive through about 50 towns today if it works out the way I planned. And if I see something I like, I wish this is my dream. I'm just driving around, and I come over the hill, and here's this, there's thousands of these small towns. Look on a map, like London East, Kentucky. There are hundreds of them everywhere. I'm hoping I just drive over a hill, and here's this town with like 500 people, and there's blight everywhere and people walking around, and a nice hotel. Not crazy nice. I stay in economy hotels, 2-star, and I just like to check in there. The owner, I hope, owns it for like 50 years, and it's like, hey, I come down, I interview people, that kind of thing. I know it seems like I target, I guess you could say, working girls. I really don't. it just kind of happened. That's who I started talking to first. If you look at the Charlie interview out in North Dakota, that's like my dream interview. And the kid from Yale, I like that. I mean, I'm not like constantly looking for homeless and working girls, although I'd be glad to interview them. I mean, I would love to interview a semi driver, a rescue worker, that helicopter pilot. That's a BK-117. That's an old model. You don't want to ride in that. It's about $100,000. It's always out of network. Yeah, I mean, I hope that's not true, man, because you notice as you age, you don't see a whole, like, I don't see a whole lot of people doing what I'm doing. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, I shouldn't be escaping this getting older. At least I'm not sitting down 100 pounds overweight on a rocking chair in Boca Raton for the winter in Florida. I wouldn't like that. But, man, I hope my ability to just, like, travel like a lunatic isn't compromised because I'm getting older. I do notice, and I hate to admit this, that, I used to do a lot of night photography, and now I'm doing more day photography, and I'm thinking, what's next? Yeah, I'd do that. I'd like to interview a truck mechanic. I sure would. Yeah, I mean, I read and that kind of stuff. When I'm doing this, though, honestly, I'm too damn tired to read at the end of the day. When I'm back at things like, how can you get tired? You're just out screwing around. I know, but it's a lot of driving. Like yesterday was a slow day and it was 200 miles. The day before that it was 250 and then it was 400. That's nothing. Today I expect, if everything works out like I expect, which it never does, I will drive 300 miles about, and I should be on the very tip of like West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky. But that's, if I'm having a good day and there are lots of photo opportunities and I get a few interviews, I should make it about 100 miles. So you just never know. It's whatever's around the next bend. I wouldn't have it any other way. If you had an itinerary planned out for me, it's like, oh, God. That's why I don't mind like getting together with people and meeting them for a coffee or having a lunch, if it jives with my schedule. Like people that watch the channel. But what I try not to have happen is people say, hey, I'm going to be in town. Can we have a lunch Wednesday? And here it is Monday. I try and stay away from that because, not that I wouldn't like to get together and meet them. I don't want to have to do something I normally wouldn't do up until then to be able to be there then at that time. I hate like etching things in stone like that. I'd rather wing it. Hey, Cam. Oh, were you? Yeah, I got that flu shot 2 years ago. And I'm probably stupid for not getting another one, but I felt like shit for 3 days, and I thought, that's the last time I'm getting that damn thing. And you know how it is, too. I mean, this sucks to have it this way. But, with this corona bullshit, man, I could be gone any day. I mean, I'm an older guy. I worry about that a little, not a lot. I mean, can you imagine like me coming down with a fever in some abandoned coal mining town and going to some hospital where I didn't know anybody? I got Daisy, nobody there. I mean, this is on my mind a little bit. Luckily, I got a buddy of mine that lives in Atlanta. He'd come up here in a heartbeat and get Daisy and whatever, make funeral arrangements. But it's a possibility, I try not to dwell on it, but, I prefer, like, I have some I took yesterday. I just didn't upload them because I didn't expect that video to not upload. So I'm going to have to wait to wherever I'm going. I had a good rain driving video, I thought, about 20 minutes long. I did take some photos yesterday, but it was raining. I only had a few breaks. I like abandoned buildings, old cars, that kind of thing. I don't know why I like that so much. I think it just speaks volumes. When you see a home and it's like 100 years old and it's just abandoned, and you think who lived there and could this be fixed. A lot goes through my mind. Where if you showed me a brand new $2 million house, I'd be looking at that thinking, my God, man, there's people out there that can't eat tonight, and you're living in a $2 million house. When I was down at Pine Knot yesterday, which is supposedly one of the highest poverty ratios in the country, you know, you can imagine, it looks just like Deliverance, right? You'll see like houses, you can't even believe people are living there. I pulled up to a house yesterday I was going to photograph, and 2 dogs came out. I thought it was abandoned. And here you'll see lots of those. And then an $800,000 house that you'd expect to be in Ann Arbor or West Bloomfield. And I just can't believe, if I lived in a house like that amongst so many people that couldn't even pay their light bill, I would never want to leave my house, because I would think it would either get burglarized or burned down. You just can't have like this keep getting worse. You know? One guy's, you know, trying to keep his lights on. Another guy's got 5 filet mignons on his $2,800 new gas grill. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah. Now, you know, I've never really had a specialty. You know, I'm like a okay photographer. I will say that a long time ago I was a decent photographer when it was film. But I'm not a guy to just sit around and get the perfect shot and like take 200 photos of something. It's not happening. I get it as good as I can, hit the road. Now the good side is I get a lot of photos of a lot of places. I'm never waiting for that perfect shot. The bad side of it is I get too many photos maybe sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, there's lots of opportunities. There's a famous place around here called Cumberland Falls, and I'm sure it's beautiful, but to be honest with you, it just didn't interest me. It's the same with Tequamatum Falls. That's the first time I've ever been there. It was back in March. It's all right. It was cool looking at it. But if I never saw it again, it'd be too soon. And I think I'm done with the national parks. They're getting dilapidated. The cops are writing lots of tickets. You're in a traffic jam from the time you go in till the time you leave. This is my kind of vacation, like this. Just driving around, seeing real life, although it hasn't been that great so far, at least down south. But hell, I've only been here 3 days. Yeah, so, you know, I bought a new cell phone. The damn thing didn't work. I couldn't even get on YouTube, so I sent it back. I got this other one that's slowly getting worse. But like, you know, in the old days, you wanted something new, you upgraded in quality, you looked forward to getting. It's not like that anymore. Here I get a new cell phone. It works worse than the old one that I had that's about to die. I go on and look for a dash cam. Because in places like this, where I'm going now, you really don't want to be driving and filming. It's just not one straight road, you know, where you just stay in your lane. I just don't do it, you know. Yeah, there's a few people that want to picture that old tree. That's no problem. I was going to do that when, you know, I'm home for a while, and I'll pick the best one out, or I'll put them on an SD card. You know, I ordered some SD cards from China, and they should be there when I get home, because those are big files. They're 46 megapixel files, which is just huge to send as an email attachment. But those photos of that tree with that camera and that high resolution, you could actually print 2 feet by 3 feet, no problem. You wouldn't lose any detail at all. Yeah, they are outrageous. Yeah, cell phones. You know, I was like that most of my life. Always have the latest, greatest, everything. I'm not like that anymore. I'm in London, Kentucky. Hey, JP. See, now the mobile version of the chat's working, but the one in the hotel didn't. Yeah, you know, Klaus, honestly, I mean, I'm a half-assed photographer. I don't take it that seriously. I mean, good cameras take good photos. And I'm not, I mean, I do it just, I mean, I like doing it, but, you know, like I did sell some of my photography a long time ago. And, you know, I was in a couple contests, all that kind of crap, and I realized, you know, this isn't for me. It's just like doing a documentary. It's like you think you have to do something like this to put yourself on the map that it's legit. Where me, it's just a hobby. It's no shit. And to me, to do a documentary when I really didn't want one, to do one just because I could say I did it, it's not enough for me. I mean, I always think in the back of my mind, if I had a company, I would name it like Half-Assed Incorporated, because I don't want to turn this into like a job, which is why I didn't accept free GoPros. First of all, I don't like GoPros. I don't think they're that great of a camera. I mean, they're okay in certain circumstances, but I don't want to have to mention them in every video I do because they gave me two $400 cameras. Forget it. Especially when I don't like them that much. Yeah, I mean, people, you know, when I'm taking my photos, I never think to myself, boy, those are killer photos. I mean, these are really good. You ought to try and sell them. I don't, man. I mean, they're okay. And honest to God, this camera I have, you know, I haven't taken one shot on the manual mode. I wouldn't even know how to do it. I'd have to, like, take a few minutes and figure it out. I just push the button. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Now, if you had a less inexpensive camera, you might want to mess with all that shit, and you'd think that's what you'd have to do to come out with a good image, but not with this one. And let me tell you, all my camera equipment I buy it used. I don't buy anything new. I shouldn't say never. I bought that one 500 millimeter lens from Nikon, and the reason for that is because I wanted one. They're not that expensive. It was like $1,600 or something. They had a rebate on it. And when you look at Nikon equipment, at least if it's fairly recent, the used stuff isn't that much cheaper than the brand new. So why would I buy used? But I bought the camera used and only had like 38 clicks on it though. It was a legit mint camera. I bought all the lenses but that one used. And I do my video cameras used or new because let me tell you, video cameras now, digital video cameras, they have a shelf life. I mean, you could argue that I use mine for a commercial purpose. This isn't doing a birthday party once a year. You expect it's going to last forever. I use mine a lot, and they're really not made for that. So when mine starts to give me trouble and I paid $1,500 or $2,000 for it, out the window it goes. They want as much to fix an old $1,500 camera as to get a brand new one. So I've figured that if you get 3 years out of one, you're lucky. And if you look at all the videos I upload, it's still a hell of a deal. I mean, everybody'd like it to last forever, but with this new technology and digital cameras and digital video recorders, there's an argument for buying that rip-off warranty policy on it because it isn't like it just needs a tune-up. When you have electronics like this fail, the repair is like crazy. But I've found I'm better off rolling the dice and just getting a new camera. That's what I've done. The same thing happens too with these new Ford pickups. This friend of mine buys these new pickups. He has a paper company in Atlanta, you know, 70 grand, that kind of thing. And he was going to skimp on the warranty protection, you know. It's like 1,800. And the guy talked him out of it, and he said, hey, look, just that backup camera in your mirror is like $5,800. You have any of these electronics go in these new vehicles, and it's nothing to have an $8,000 or $10,000 bill for electronics. So he bought it. And that's kind of where it's going with cameras. I've learned through Nikon, Sony, Panasonic, if you think they're going to pat you on the back and say, hey, Tom, you've been a hell of a loyal customer. People ask you what you use and you tell them and you like our stuff. Never happened. Actually, there'd probably be an extra charge for being a loyal customer. It's not like the old days. You call any of those places when you've had problems with some of their equipment, and they'll treat you like an ex-wife. It's not what you'd think. Same with vehicles. You get a new vehicle, if it's under warranty and something goes wrong, they'll treat you with kid gloves. Try that with an airplane or a boat. They'll tell you to pound sand. You should have bought a different brand. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, diesel trucks, yep. Yeah, it's like that now. Yeah, you call, you know, I had that. That's what pissed me off with Canon. See, I shot myself in the foot there. I had a Vixia HF G30, which I loved. It was a great camera. Then the color balance started to go on it. And I've always heard they ripped you off on repair. So they have you write down what you say is wrong with it. Well, they're not stupid. They made the camera, right? So I've learned in anything you write down, there's definitely going to be what's wrong with it. So just for the hell of it, I wrote a couple things down that I said that it was doing that it wasn't. And they were working fine. Sure enough, when I got the estimate back, they said I needed to replace those too. So I figured out, at least in that instance, they go by the description of what you say doesn't work, and they just give you a price, whether it's working, whether or not. There's no diagnosis at all. They plug this all into a computer. It needs this, it needs this, it needs that. But that's why they don't charge you, because they're really not doing anything. And once I figured out they were going to nail me for two things that weren't wrong with it, and even though it was a free inspection, I got what I paid for. They didn't do anything. They just listened to what I said wasn't working. And actually, it was $100 cheaper to get this old camera repaired than to buy a brand new one. If they were just straight about it, I could have lived with it, but I thought, well, screw Canon. So I went out and bought this Sony. And the Sony's not as good as the Canon, particularly at low light or at night. So I was going to show Canon, and guess who ultimately lost in that deal? Me. I didn't buy the Canon, another Canon, because I was pissed. And I got something that doesn't work as well, all because I was unhappy with the way they treated me on a service contract. Who ultimately lost? I did. Yeah, oil change, yep. Yeah, it is. It's going to be 54 here today. Sunny day, yep. Yep, 54. Sun's coming up now. Well, I think I'm going to hit the road, you guys. I hope you guys have a good day today. Hopefully I'll be checking on tonight. I can have it live. It won't be buffering. I do know YouTube had problems, but I also know I had a crappy internet connection. So I hope everybody has a good day today. We're supposed to get good weather till like Saturday or something. So I'll be making my way eastward. So have a good day today, everybody. All right, George. Yep. Say POD. Thanks, Yalitha. Appreciate it. Daisy stacked out. Yeah, thank you. I feel pretty good today. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Kim. Hey, one last thing too. I wanted to say too. I apologize for this if I seem rude. But, you know, I get inundated with these crazies always stalking me and calling the cops and making up bullshit and saying that I'm murdering girls and all this nonsense, which isn't that big a deal. But they will make trouble for me as good as they can. They'll call police departments like at where I'm at right now and make up bullshit. So it's a normal day to get harassed by these kooks. So when I was I had a neighbor that moved, and she fed stray cats, and even though I'm not a stray cat lover, because I like birds more, I knew she wanted somebody to feed those cats, so I just volunteered. It's like, I'll feed them while you're gone. So, thank you so much, bought a big bag of food, blah, blah, blah. Well, the damn cats never ate the food for a whole month since she was gone. They just weren't coming over there. So I talked to the people. They hadn't seen the cats. I think the people on the end are feeding them. But anyway, bottom line is, I had another neighbor that agreed to feed them. And I've talked to him since I've been gone. And that the only thing that's eating the food is the raccoons. I think the cats don't feel comfortable coming that far down. The other unit was right next to the woods. I don't know what it is, but so here a lady, Susie is her name. Rather than just say, hey, were you able to find somebody to feed the cats? She said, who did you get to feed the cats? And it kind of pissed me off. And I thought, well, first of all, it's none of your business. And secondly, couldn't you just, make sure that I had them taken care of when I left? I interpreted that comment as, here, I'm on the road, and you're going to bring up who's taking care of the cats, and I don't even know you. And it kind of ticked me off, and I said, none of your business. But based on her response, I think she was just making an innocent comment, and I apologize for that. But mind you that most of them aren't. They're troublemaking lunatics that stalk me, and I kind of thought she may have been one of those, so I apologize for saying that, because when you responded, I realized that it was just a comment you made that I probably overreacted to. So my fault on that, Susie. Yeah. Hey, Pam. Yep. All right, well, take it easy, guys. Yep. Bye, Kim. See you, Mark, Pam.